This regular meeting, the Vernon Township Municipal Utilities Authority, September 15th, 2022, will now convene. Statement of compliance. Pursuant to the Open Public Meetings Act, adequate notice of this regular meeting was provided to the public and the press on December 27th, 2021, by delivering to the press such notice and posting same at the municipal building and filed with the office of the MUA, as well as posted on the website. All rise and salute the flag.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
A roll call of members and professionals.
Okay, Paul Carney,
Present.
Andrew Pitsker,
Present.
Dave McDermott,
Present.
Kristen Wheaton,
Present.
Ed Snook,
Present.
Ed DeYoung,
Present.
Mark Bauer.
Present.
For professionals, we have Don Albright, the administrator CFO, Rich Wenner, the attorney, Steve Benoski, the engineer, and myself, Jacqueline McCabe, the recording secretary.
I'd like to open the meeting to the public for agenda items only. I'd like to make a motion.
I'll make that motion to open the meeting to the public for agenda items only.
Motion is made. We have a second.
Second motion.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Right now, I do not have anybody from the public wishing to speak.
Again, someone like to make a motion to close the meeting to the public for agenda items only.
I will make a motion to close the meeting to the public for agenda items only.
Give a second. Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Resolution 2238, approval of the bill. Can I have a motion to approve?
Question. What is it, the wall tool set?
DeWalt is
The
the
wall tool set?
Maintenance of.
Yeah, it was maintenance for the pump stations, just additional tools that we would need to.
Okay, that you pick up from, okay.
Mhm.
That's it, a motion to approve the bill list?
Did everybody get a chance to look at the bills? Anybody
Yes,
have-
I did.
Does anybody have any questions?
Nope. No.
Okay, then we have a motion to approve the bill.
Motion to approve the bill list for resolution 22.
I'll second that motion.
Okay, Paul Carney,
Yes.
Andrew Pitsker,
Yes.
Dave McDermott,
Yes.
Kristen Wheaton,
Yes.
Ed Snook.
Yes. Approval of the minutes, regular meeting 8/18/22. Is there a motion to, did everybody get a chance to read the minutes?
Yes.
Any questions on the minutes? And if not, can I have a motion to approve the minutes?
I'll make a motion to approve the minutes of 8/18/2002.
I'll second that.
Paul Carney,
Yes.
Andrew Pitsker,
Yes.
Dave McDermott,
Yes.
Kristen Wheaton,
Yes.
Ed Snook.
Yes. Right. A motion, did everybody get to look at the executive minutes? Do you have questions? Probably can't speak about right now if you do. So then let's go forward with, anybody want to make a motion to approve the minutes, the executive session?
Motion to approve the executive meeting minutes from 8/18/22.
I have a second?
I'll second that motion.
Paul Carney,
Yes.
Andrew Pitsker,
Yes.
Dave McDermott,
Yes.
Kristen Wheaton,
Yes.
Ed Snook.
Yes. Administrator update, now please.
Sure. So pump station 2, we're still obviously actively working with the DEP with regarding pump station 2. We are the specs were approved. We're just finalizing dates to go out to bid, when the bid opening would be, and then final approval through council, the township council for that. The sewer service area mapping. So we met with the DEP this week, actually. Yesterday, I say this week, that was yesterday. It's an interesting conversation that we had with them regarding the sewer service area. They have a new individual working on it. Paul DeMiro is no longer working on it. I think this individual needs to be brought up to speed on
Oh,
our
jeez.
application.
Oh.
He's had it for a number of months, so we'll see how that goes. But as far as James and I were working on it, and as far as we can tell, the only thing we really need to finalize is really the Legend Sewer Service area and what we're going to do with that, because it obviously affects development in the future. So that's pretty much it with the sewer service area. We just have to finalize that, and I reached out to the area of the DEP that deals with the treatment works approval applications, because that's who we were directed to go to answer some of our questions that I asked 3 months ago that I still haven't gotten the answers to. So hopefully we'll be able to set up a meeting with them, and then maybe have a joint meeting with Eric, who's helping us now with our application, and just get this moved along.
Not likely.
The transfer station, we had a subcommittee meeting with the township council, since they did create own subcommittee last month. So the subcommittees will meet again on the 26th. That would be in like less than 2 weeks.
Donnell, who's on that subcommittee for them, do you know?
For them, it's Mike Fury and Brian Lynch.
Thank you.
And we also met, in conjunction with that, the Environmental Commission, the chair of the Environmental Commission was meeting with us as well.
That's Diane Wexler.
Yeah.
Yes.
Capital items, so we attached our capital item list. We did order the stone, and it's already been picked up for pump station 1 for the easement that's over there. And we're working with the condo association, Elizabethtown Gas, and our guys to get the concrete pads in over at the condo, so we can finish up finally installing generators.
So the concrete pads were ordered, delivered, and they have to be installed.
Mhm. Yeah.
We're getting closer.
Yes.
Before the winter here.
That's our goal.
And they came yesterday for the lines to see where to run the lines for the gas and the electric.
Right, so yeah, so Elizabethtown Gas is working on where they're gonna run the lines, so.
They're gonna do ditch those in, and then they'll be underground, right? So not.
Yes, they'd be underground. Mhm. And the developments, we're still working with the developer who's handling the golf course development, so we're working with them regarding like their co-obligation and connection fees and all other stuff. We've been working with the township in conjunction with that, as well as the developer who's handling, it's actually the same developer, just different property owners, for the property that's adjacent to McPhee Ski Shop. So that's it for me. Howie unfortunately is not feeling well, so he could not make tonight's meeting. So just a couple of things on his side. We did have a call for a pump failure at pump station 2, for a high level pump failure. Their reverse polarity, they changed things. We're still waiting on the grinder, which hopefully will be here maybe the first week of October, because they're shipping at the end of September. So hopefully we get that in. They've just been, our repairer has been actively cleaning it regularly so that we don't have issues, since there's not an up and running grinder right now.
So when you say that you had a failure of the pump at pump station 2, and they reversed the polarity?
Yeah, and then and change the fuse, and it's working.
Okay.
Yeah.
I get why, but
Okay.
that's not a comfy feeling. This really puts a lot of pressure on
Mhm.
pump station 2. Then the grinder's got to go in behind that, correct? Before, yeah.
Or yeah. Yeah, Black Creek, the spare pump we ordered, and we're still waiting for a contact switch. We've contacted vendors and. Where we are with that.
So I can get one from them, but it's going to be over a month. So the
Oh, yeah, it was
electrician
the
had
time.
another contact and they're trying to find some soon.
Yeah, the issue is that was getting the actual part in, so. We had like a month wait on one vendor, so we're hoping to find it elsewhere. And that's it for those reports.
Your report. Steve?
Can you hear us? There he is. Hi, Steve.
There it goes.
Hey, Steve.
Hey, Paul, sorry, I had a hard time hearing you there. I don't know why. Yeah, so my turn, right?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, sorry. For some reason I didn't hear something correctly there. So Donnell hit on, the big points there. We expect to make our last submission, minor stuff to DEP/iBank tomorrow and get the authorization to award, early next week and go out to bid by the week after. So we're right there with it. Couldn't be much closer. So that's the update there. We did get some, as Donnell indicated, we did get some official approvals on, the 1, 2, 3, and 4 steps in the last month, as far as plan specifications, as far as the SED plan, as far as an official approval of the environmental work. So all that was good. And we're just have one minor thing to do. What was the other thing? We've been participating in meetings with Donnell on kind of, the issues or the meetings with the developers are somewhat, related to the sewer service area. So the sewer service area and the developer meetings are, on some level they're related. So we've been participating in those meetings. Then the only other thing is, we coordinated with Donnell on the quantity and type of stone for the pump station 1 easement area. That's all I have.
Thanks, Steve. Anybody have any questions for Steve?
What issue on the easement ditch do we have there? Any issues or quiet permits or something we need to get?
Meeting. I'm seeing you tomorrow morning.
You missed that.
The earlier the better.
Can't hear you, Andy.
Okay, Steve, on the easement ditch, what's missing here that you need to get done? Is there permits? Or-
No, there's nothing that needs to get done. It's just DPW is going to install the stone, right, Donnell?
I'm sorry, can you say that again?
So with the stone was ordered and received, correct?
Yeah, we have everything. Yes.
So there's no other engineering that needs to be done?
No.
Okay, great.
Anyone else?
I have one question. What's the new guy's name? Who replaced Paul Demore?
Eric, I will get you his last name, but it's Eric.
Okay,
Sorry.
thank you. No problem.
Okay, like I said, thanks, Steve.
You're welcome.
Work session, discussion of meeting dates.
Yes, so the next meeting date, let me just bring it up on my calendar. The next meeting date that we have planned is October 20th, but the chair requested if we could have that on a different date. Now, we were originally thinking the 13th, but that's actually a council meeting because Columbus Day is the 10th, so they moved to the 13th. So if everyone is okay, or we have enough members, we could possibly change that date to the 19th, which is the Wednesday that date.
The October one?
Yeah.
Yeah, no, that's, for me, that's no good. I mean, I obviously have a meeting with me, but that entire week I'm
Okay.
away. So, I mean, you can keep it on the 20th, just
Okay.
I won't be able to attend, which is,
If that's okay with everyone, does anyone else have an issue with the 20th?
I won't be able to attend, but you'll just manage without me.
As long as we have a quorum.
Yeah.
Just need to make
I
sure.
can be here.
I can make it.
Okay, so if anyone's plans change, just let me know.
Okay.
So we can notice, yeah.
Till the 20th.
Still 20.
Yep. That works for me.
And then,
We have-
November,
Time is same time, 7 a.m.
same time. Mhm.
7 a.m.
Yeah, so we won't have to change any
I'm up.
like advertisements for that at all. And then for November, our meeting is during the League of Municipalities. So it's like always like that. So we usually end up canceling November's meeting. That's just what I've seen in the past on. And then any bills go to December. So
Okay, so
if anyone,
why don't we just tentatively plan on November not happening? And then
if something comes up,
you can set it for sure, on the 20th. But like, I remember we usually do it in November anyway,
Yeah.
so.
all right, so we'll just keep that in mind. So we'll make a final decision at the next meeting. That's good with everyone.
Sounds good.
Yes, okay.
Looks good.
Good.
Good?
Yeah.
Okay.
Great.
Okay, so open to the public for items not on the agenda. Somebody make a motion, please. To open to the public for items not on the agenda.
Motion to open the meeting to the public for public comments.
I'll second that.
All in favor?
Aye.
I do not have anyone from the public wishing to speak.
Hey,
That's the first.
someone make a motion to close the meeting to the.
I'll
public.
make a motion to close the meeting.
I'll second that.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Commissioners' comments. Start with Mark.
None?
No, nothing.
I have one question. COVID hit and they closed inside a restaurant, so everybody built their outside seating. And they raised the restrictions so we could have open. And everybody improved and expanded their outside. Is that
Mhm.
able to be figured in as their seating and change their EDU? Because it was allowed because they couldn't have inside open.
Right, so now they have 8 more.
So that was fine.
Good question, Steve. Maybe you and I, Steve Slot.
Yeah.
Maybe we can talk about that with the engineer and see. I don't know how that works with outdoor seating.
Yep, okay.
That's
I don't have the answer either.
Okay.
Like it won't be a big.
Yeah, but I'm thinking about who's
New.
the sewer service area that has outside seating.
Coffee bean.
Who's in the service area that's outside here?
Advertised, they just
Well,
large.
What is this one? The cafe?
Pizza place, I think.
The
The
cafe?
Daily Bean, I mean?
No,
No.
the cafe that's over here.
um,
Used to be Mixing Bowl.
Oh, yeah, right, the Crystal Cafe.
Mhm.
Yeah,
Okay.
Yeah, but I mean, it's a good question. It's a
It
good
is.
question going forward because, you know, so if something opens somewhere else,
Mhm.
have a big, outdoor area.
Right, right.
Good point.
Nip it before it gets out of hand. We look bad.
But then the question's gotta come
Making
up.
friends.
Do we pay that all year round or only during the part of the year where people can sit outside? Because people are gonna be sitting outside in February, so
Heaters.
there will be
Heaters.
heaters. Well, that happens too. Sweaters.
No.
going back right before the,
Is it gonna really cause? I don't know, I don't want to use the word hardship, but just be a pain in the neck for these few establishments that have that. I don't know,
I'd want to be a little.
but it's worth looking into.
I like to be business friendly too.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So burn.
I could see the place across the street from the Crystal Palace doing something like that. They wanted, before the pandemic, they filed an application with us for, I think, 80 seats or something like that, and they were gonna move some of them outside. It was supposed to be a Thai
Outside
restaurant. Yeah, so I mean,
Yeah, I remember that.
place is it?
right across the street from the Crystal Cafe.
Oh,
the old bar.
oh, yeah, that's,
Yeah, where,
that's not happening there anymore.
no, I guess it doesn't seem to right now anyhow.
All right, I mean, no, I agree, though. You don't want to keep piling fees on people, but it is something that
It is, especially if
should be
it's
discussed.
maybe just a minor change anyway.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Ed-
Other Ed.
The
only comment that I have is I did sit in on the Zoom call with DEP on the sewer service area yesterday. And quite frankly, it is a very frustrating phone call with that. You just basically get no answers to anything. You get more, come away with more questions than you have answers. It's frustrating, but I know it's, and now it's been pushed. Let's get another organization involved. See how that goes. That's probably gonna be. I think there's some, we here in Vernon. And I understand the development issues and the Legends sewer service area, but somehow we've got to decide what we want to do. Because right now it seems like we're unsure. What we want to do. And I don't blame anybody for that. It's, if we want to include Legends sewer service into our area, make them hook into our pipes. I don't know if we sat down and talked about that. It sounds like if they're gonna put in this large development around the golf course, they're gonna have to really refurbish, if not replace, their treatment facility now. I don't know what cost that is. So is that cost, is the burden of having them hook into Vernon's sewer service any worse than having them go through the DEP for another 10 years to get a
Yeah.
permit?
Yeah.
Yeah, we've been,
It's their treatment facility. I don't know.
And not only that, it's if they think that whoever it may be thinks that refurbishing or building their own package plant would be the way to go as opposed to paying a monthly bill. You know, you have the expense of getting that plant up and running or built from scratch, whatever that's gonna be, and all the connections that are,
They may never get it approved.
right, they may not get it approved. The DEP may not approve it because we already have lines that will take it out of here, and get treated, so they might not approve it. But they also have to weigh the cost of running something forever now.
Yeah.
And all of
And
the.
it- I mean, it
and
could
all
be
of
an
the-
environmental
all of the.
Bad situation.
Yeah, all the permit renewals they have to deal with, discharge to surface water, they have to, there's a lot to it that they have to be on top of and have the right people, qualified people to do that work. And, if knowing that the business, if that was me, if I had a choice of A or B and B being, I'm gonna hook up to an existing sewer line and it's gone and I have to worry about it, that's where I would
I
want to
know.
go.
I think it just at some point, and maybe this is going on with, the township and land use. But I think at some point you got to kind of look the developer and the owner in the eye and say, here's what we're recommending.
Yeah, I've been doing that.
Yeah.
Yeah, so
I would-
we've been meeting, yeah. so
I know we couldn't
meeting with-
discuss that in that call.
Yeah, I've been meeting with the developers for both the golf course and like the big Legends property.
Yeah.
We've had a couple of meetings with them, so we've talked about the multiple options and like the issues that they're gonna face, right? And the replacement of the treatment facility it's a lot of money and it's a lot
Yeah.
afterwards,
Yeah.
right?
It's eternal.
And then it currently discharges to surface water and groundwater, and it's in a wetland buffer.
Yeah.
So
So I'm thinking.
they'd have to go for a whole treatment works approval to replace it anyway.
And I
At what
don't
point-
know.
I
it
know
would
it's
be approved.
sensitive, but at what point do we say, here's what you need to do, you need to hook into our system?
Well, and I think that's why like we need now,
We were
now
worried
the
about scaring them away, but
department,
yeah,
now that we've been pushed to another department, they could have told us that 3 months ago.
Right.
Hopefully we'll get more answers from them, how DEP would look at an application like that, right? So if they say, okay, you have the ability to hook into the township sewers because they've included it in their sewer service area, right? Like, we're either not gonna approve this, or is this really necessary to do?
and it almost sounds like we're doing their work for them now.
Well, so the alternative,
By investigating what that's all gonna cost them, they ought to be doing that if they're serious about that.
we already know what the estimates are, they already know what the
It's gotta
estimates,
be huge.
kind of know what the estimates are, but you're talking about the alternative is connection fees.
Right.
And the MUA's connection fees are not the issue. SCUMA's connection fees are the issue. SCUMA's charging like 7,500
But still, no,
you.
But you know what?
it's a one-time
You
thing.
wonder if that can be worked too.
They're gonna build units and they're gonna sell the units. They'll incorporate the.
They're gonna put that right in the price.
In the price of doing it.
Well, so
Done.
that's the residential development. I think we've had a really good headway with the residential development, but when you're talking about the Legends itself being done, that's a whole different, that's
That's a big,
issue. Right. I think the residential development, it makes way more sense to just
yeah, absolutely.
connect to the township.
I mean, it seems like a no-brainer, but I mean, I'm new here, so I don't know all the details, but
Right.
what I just keep hearing, talk, and talk, this option, that option, and somebody put a stake in the ground and say, here's what it's gotta be.
Yeah.
Like it or leave it,
Sewer service area thing is.
because they're not gonna move away from it.
No.
All right, that was my piece.
I'm surprised it hasn't.
We're venting here.
Kristen.
I think
Hey, Kristen.
Let's see. So with regards to septage collection, I did speak with Diane Wexler. I will be participating or just attending the Environmental Commission on Monday to discuss that further and form next steps in concert with them. They do have it as an agenda item presently. So we'll be convening and discussing what they know and possible next steps for investigating how to implement townwide septage collection. And then with regards to the sewer service area, I don't know if there would be any benefit to contacting our assembly members or Senate members,
Yeah, we've done that.
representatives. Yeah, I thought we had, but
Yeah.
like, are they helping us?
Yeah.
I'm not,
Sometimes it's a brick wall down there.
Very,
Well,
the issue is the DP. I mean, I hate to say that. I don't really hate
It's
it.
true.
The issue is the DP.
We all have our
Okay.
ducks in a row. It's not us.
yeah. And this is, the DEP has been a monkey on our backs ever since I was appointed here. I mean, I'm not here as long as some of you, but ever since I've been here, even with the other engineer, the DEP was always the problem.
Yeah.
For whatever reason why, anytime we tried to move something forward, they would move the goalposts back. And things would change and nobody would tell us, and very, very frustrating.
Dave, I have to say, I mean, I get it. It's been a long time with that stuff, but the problem seems more with them not understanding or not wanting to make a commitment than moving the goalpost. I
Okay,
mean, they seem, oh, yeah, this is okay, but they won't make a decision.
That's the problem. Nobody that wants to make a decision. So,
It's
so
been that way from the
Yeah.
time I was on before until now.
It's
And
I
past
was
the buck
surprised when
when
I
they-
came on, we're still discussing
but it's gotten
what we
worse.
discussed before.
It's gotten worse, and one of the reasons why is
Changes.
but is a lot, there's been huge turnover down there. The people with the experience when the state was starting to cut into the employees, the state employees, a lot of people retired.
Yep.
And they were filled with young and ambitious people out of college, and there's nothing wrong with that, but they have no practical, a lot of them don't have practical experience. So it goes through 5 layers for each question to get answered, and that's the delay, and it's not this, it's on a lot of things.
Okay, that concludes my comments.
Okay, Andy?
I have to concur with them on the DEP. It is really about staying on point with them constantly. I know with Pump Station 2, we've been pushing on this, and it is a concern with me as well as that we need to stay on top of them with all these projects. Pump Station 2, Steve, I see you've updated the project. So now our completion date looks like it's July 5th. Is that correct?
And then
No, Steve.
yes, yes, Andy, that's the latest as of last week, I believe, correct?
Yeah, that's
Yep.
what it seems like here, is that with all this going on now, with the bids getting ready to go out, our target date for completion and turnover is July 5th. Correct?
Correct.
Yeah, I mean, one of the things I'm concerned with is that from our side, from our engineering firm, as well as from here, from us making decisions and making sure we get our paperwork in on time is important. And because I like to keep the upper hand on the DEP.
Understood.
Yeah,
Understood.
I think that's pretty important for all of us, but this goes for Pump Station 2, and this also goes for water. And Vernon's got 3 major projects here that we need to address and stay on top of because they all are impacted by something with the DEP. So, I mean, I'd like to sit down with Dewberry, maybe with the principals and some of us here and talk about how we're going to stay on top of it with the DEP. But also maybe, as you said, the inexperience of the DEP, maybe we need to have some people come here. Or we'll go to Trenton and let's sit down and have a sit down with them saying, it's vital. Because Pump Station 2 has got to get done. We need sewer service areas so we can expand and get ratables in here and keep people environmentally safe. And third, when it comes to the water, on the town side, we don't need any more holdups there because we got a Main Street and a few of these others that, Dewberry's ready to push through and we're not getting it done. So we're going to have to take some more aggressive actions, whether it's with, our representatives or, a handful of us going into Trenton, sitting in the office there with them saying, when's this going to change?
I think you have a point there with meeting with them. I know from past experiences, when we were at kind of a standstill, we invited them up to the facility where I work. And they came up with a lot of people, a lot more than we anticipated. And it was more of a field trip, I think, for most of them. But when they came on site and they saw the situation that we were dealing with them, and they got eyes on it, and they got a better understanding of what we were talking about what we were asking for of them. We definitely got, things moved forward a lot better after that. I think when someone's sitting in an office, 60 miles away, they don't really, get it in the same manner. So sending out an invitation, inviting some of them DEP people that are up the players on this to come up here, take them to the pump station, let them see the condition of it.
Let them taste the water.
Yeah, but that might be a good idea,
Yeah, I mean, Danell, I know when we were looking at sewer service areas and we've had meetings before, they actually designated a bloody parking lot. Remember that one? Where the
Oh, yeah,
parking
Mountain
lot
Creek,
was
yeah.
Designated as a ESA area, and it's a parking lot.
Yeah.
There's three trees there.
They said the island in the middle was,
Yeah, like the berm in the middle.
And I said back then,
PSA 25.
they need to get out of their offices, into the field and get it to understand what this lay of the land is here, because we are paralyzed to move forward. And, I hear a lot of things, well, we want ratables and we want to expand Vernon and we want to do this. We can't do this unless we have an infrastructure of water, and sewer in place. And this is what we've been struggling with for as many years as we've had this system. And we don't have a sewer service area map beyond 2014. And this is what we've been trying to struggle with. So I think the pressure needs to be put on. I think, Danell, you're going in the right manner, but as you said.
Bringing in another agency here, hopefully, who can
Right.
help out with that thing, right? I mean,
Yeah.
I mean, it may be another pointless meeting, but
Well,
it's at least an attempt to get this thing resolved.
yeah, and I think what happened with pump station 2 with DEP putting a coordinator in place with Karen Cole helped move this project for IBank. But that's only the tip when you got these two other ones coming.
Yeah.
So we got to continue to put that pressure on.
And so I think it's the best way to put pressure on it is to be in their face, go down there and sit there and make an appointment, have a meeting, of either go down there or have them come up. It's easier to BS somebody from 60 miles away than it is right to their face. And I think that a lot of these, we've been through this before where we thought we had a deal, we thought we had a map, and then they came back with us and checked and pulled something out and said, no, we don't want this here anymore. That's what I meant about goalposts. But I mean, it's nobody wants to make a decision. We thought we had a deal and we were on the table there. We had the map all done and everything like that. And then the next month later, they changed something just out of the blue with no forethought or
no
nothing.
rhyme or reasons.
Yeah, exactly.
Not surprised.
That's that.
Yeah.
So I'll be happy to go to Trenton or wherever DEP is going to meet. I think I'll be the.
I'll take a ride with you.
And you'll take a ride with me, so. I think we need to.
If I could go there, I'm not just thinking, trying to think of the-
That's the end of my comments. DEP is definitely frustrating.
Which I will mention in my comments. My comments, I usually kind of like off the top of my head, but today I just feel I need to cover a couple of things. I was recently asked by a neighbor about comments they heard at a council meeting that I personally did not hear, but feel they need to be addressed. The comment, as I heard secondhand, was that it seems as if the MUA hasn't accomplished anything over the last 6 years or so. I feel I need to address this statement. One issue that had stalled and may seem to still be that way to casual observers is the expansion of the sewer service area. After not being satisfied with the pace of progress, the MUA changed engineering firms. Currently, any lag in forward motion sits squarely in the lap of Trenton and the NJDEP. The MUA, the township, our engineering firm can only do so much without receiving the go-ahead from the state regulatory body. We're currently having regular meetings with NJDEP with the expectations that the expansion area will be settled soon. As for fiscal responsibility, the MUA agreements are far from ideal. There's a large amount of debt that has to be paid, and the entire MUA staff and board of commissioners has done the following to save money, which in turn can be used towards debt. Over 700 unit EDUs, the calculated method for billing were found to be incorrect. MUA corrected this, resulting in over 110 additional EDUs. That would have been $158,762 in user fees in 2022 alone. The adjustment for the third and fourth quarters will bring in an additional $79,000. Why these calculations were done this way, the current board does not know, but in a 10-year period, it's well over $1 million and most fees are now being collected. Going forward. The VFW situation was an embarrassment to the community as it was being fought in the press. The board met with the VFW, had a simple conversation, and they connected. This resulted in $1,443 coming in starting in 2022. In 2019, the MUA paid out $200,000 in shared services with the DPW. In 2020, the MUA changed this procedure by hiring part-time workers and our own licensed operator. 2021 was the first full year and it produced a savings of $115,000. Two properties were hooked up, Green Realty and Failing Building, for a total of $14,000 in connection fees plus EDUs. MUA changed shared service agreements for finance and administration and saved over $30,000 a year. Assumed EDUs for future housing of 55 one-bedroom units rated at 33 EDUs equates to $44,000 in user fees. The MUA is working with other proposed developers along the Route 94 corridor. Mountain Creek is required to pay for the renovation of Pump Station 2 as required in their 2019 agreement. It should be known that since 2019 agreement, Mountain Creek has paid their financial obligations, not just on time, but early. The MUA has received Township Center designation from the State Planning Commission in 2021. As it currently stands, these properties could bring in over 1,000 connections. EDUs are not known at this time. Should this development happen, it could result in 600 to possibly over 1,000 EDUs, depending on the usage of the properties. The MUA has requested federal funding to cover the cost of expansion. There were early discussions of possible development, but it's far too early to speculate on them. These savings I mentioned may not seem to be large, but when added together, it comes to a yearly savings of over $335,000 per year. With the debt and payments that are looming, this MUA will continue to try to save money wherever possible, as well as grow the system to create more revenue. I, along with all the MUA personnel, try to be positive and do the right thing. Each and every one of us was not on this MUA when poor financial deals and decisions were made, but we collectively feel it's our obligation to fight this uphill battle and continue being fiscally responsible and try to move forward and grow, because growing the system is the only thing that may save it from financial disaster and the debt falling back to the town and all of the burdened taxpayers. That's my comments.
Here, here.
Here, here.
Nicely done.
Here, here.
And with that, the motion to adjourn the meeting,
I'll make a motion to adjourn.
I'll second it.
all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Have a good night.
All done.
Good evening.
Yeah.